Hey there, since I wasn't able to be there with you in person today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the home sleep test device. The home sleep test device, I think, would benefit your practice in a variety of different ways. One, it's a great way to screen your patients for underlying comorbidities, hypertensive, your AFib patients, obese, diabetic, your patients that have tonsillitis, breathing problems or snoring at night, tell you that they're really tired and sleepy the next day, obstructive sleep apnea. The second benefit would be giving your patients the convenience of testing on the home sleep test device in the convenience of their home. A lot of patients, one, do not want to go into a sleep lab, and two, they do not want to pay that high deductible. And the third and final reason is that the home sleep test device would create a really great source of revenue for your practice. So the first thing we'll have you do when using the home sleep test device is filling out this questionnaire. These numbers here on the right. And if the patient has a score of 6 or over, then the patient qualifies for the home sleep test device. Here it shows how it's worn when the patient has the device on their head when they're sleeping. As you can see, ARES is a nasal cannula and the part that goes on the patient's head. This is a 9-channel device. It actually screens for SpO2, heart rate, snoring, airflow, head movement, head position, EEG, EOG, and EMG. I'll show you the device and how easy it is to use. So the way the home sleep test device works is it's all iCloud based. So basically we would give you access to an online portal where your medical assistants would have a username and password that they would log into every day to screen patients. This is the device and that's all there is to it. It's that simple. There's a nasal cannula that goes in your nose and then the rest is a band that goes over your head. And I'll show you how that works. And then the patient will place the device on their head. Place the nasal cannula in their nose and then tighten it from the top of their head. The patient will then press that white button on top. Once the patient has the device on their head and the patient presses that white button, an auto attendant will come on and talk the patient through it. So it'll tell the patient, please lay down, stare at the ceiling. You may now close your eyes and sleep. If any reason during the night the device falls off the patient's head, the auto attendant will actually wake the patient up and say, please place device back on your head. If the nasal cannula comes loose, the auto attendant will come on and say, please tighten your nasal cannula. This is the reason that the ARES home sleep test device has a less than 1% failure rate, because of the fact that we have an auto attendant that ensures that things get done properly and that it doesn't fall off the patient's head. The next day, when the patient wants to take it back, the device will actually turn off on its own. The next day, when the patient returns the device to the medical assistant will now remove all of the parts. And she's going to dispose of these parts. You have your headband, nasal cannula, forehead probes, and you are left with just this device. Now that you've put your device together for the next patient and you had them fill out the questionnaire and the financial responsibility waiver, you take this user guide, place it on top of the box, and you send the patient home with the device in this box. ARES stands for Apnea Risk Evaluation System. It's a 9-channel signal monitor. I'll go over what those 9 channels are. Data upload to a web portal. Everything is cloud-based, which is super convenient. Integrated screener. I'll go over the screener, which is the questionnaire that I had mentioned. It distinguishes sleep time versus recorded time. We have an auto attendant, 2 to 3 night option for titration, which means that you are able to screen your patients on the ARES Watermark home sleep test device for 2 nights, 3 nights, which gives you better data. And then there's just 4 steps for simple preparation for the patients. The same technology that you have in your iPhone, we have in the ARES home sleep test device. There are 2 accelerometers that actually will let you know how long the patient was supine on their right-hand side and on their left-hand side. It's great to know because you end up finding out how long the patient slept on their back, if they tossed and turned, if they're snoring more when they're on their back or if they're on their left.
This is the questionnaire. As you've noticed, it's a little more in depth than just an Epworth Sleepiness Scale. We have perfected it over the years at Watermark Medical because we believe that there are underlying comorbidities that go hand in hand with obstructive sleep apnea, like high blood pressure, stroke, depression, morning headaches, narcolepsy, diabetes. We also ask for the patient's weight, height, and neck size, which gives us the patient's BMI. If you look to the right, you're actually able to add and score this questionnaire. And the reason that's important is because anyone that scores 6 or over is probably going to be positive for obstructive sleep apnea. And so that's the magic number, is 6 or over. We've done a study with over 10,000 patients. And out of these 10,000 patients, 88% of these patients had obstructive sleep apnea, mild, moderate, or severe. Out of those 88%, we've learned that we have a 94% sensitivity accuracy rate. So that means that this questionnaire is 94% accurate. This is a great questionnaire to add to your new patient paperwork and have every single patient that comes through the door fill out a questionnaire. You will be able to screen more patients to get them into therapy for CPAP or oral appliance. The reason the questionnaire is so important, it's because it is integrated with our software and algorithms. So this questionnaire is actually critical. It also helps the board-certified sleep physician, once they know what underlying comorbidities the patient has, it helps him determine whether they have obstructive sleep apnea and look at other factors as well. We give you access to an online portal. What's neat about this portal is you can access this portal from any computer, your office, your home. You can be on the beach in Hawaii and you can look in and see a patient's results. Everything is HIPAA compliant and secured. We give every one of your staff member their own username and password. So the patient's information is all protected. Here's a copy of the sample report. This is how our sample reports look. If you look on the left-hand side, it shows you the patient's AHI, the patient's RDI. This, for example, is a 77-year-old male with a 16.5-inch neck. His AHI was 7. That means he stopped breathing 7 times for 10 seconds or more in an hour. And then it'll tell you how long he snored. So this patient snored 15.7% of the night, and 3.7% is very loud. On the front of our device, we have a snore box. This patient was in REM sleep. It'll tell you how long, the percentage he was in REM sleep, how long he slept. So this patient, we recorded 7 hours, but he only slept for 6.2. Why is that important? It's important because you want to know that the doctor is looking at this data based on the amount of time the patient slept, not the amount of time the patient had the device on, because that patient could be using the restroom, walking around the house, changing the channels. You want to make sure that we are only looking at data that is sleep time, and we're able to do that through algorithms and airflow. Most devices go off recorded time. We go off sleep time, which means that our data is much more accurate. And to give you a few points of why the ARES Watermark is the best device on the market, we are the only device that have techs that pre-score our studies. Why is that important? Because not only do you have the first layer of our technology and the second layer of our board-certified sleep physicians that interpret it, but you have a tech that pre-score it. So you have 3 layers of eyes that are looking at this. You have the technology, you have the techs, and then you have the board-certified sleep physician. Board-certified sleep physicians say that our techs are so on and precise that they rarely ever have to go in and actually change the raw data. That's how precise our techs are. So you're getting more accurate data, the fact that you have techs pre-scoring. It's the only device on the market that can do 2 and 3 nights. Most devices can only do 1. There's no head chest straps, finger probes, or tape like other devices. It is only a headband and a nasal cannula. Super easy to use. Many other devices have stickers tape that go on the hands and chest and face. Ours is literally just what you saw when I wore the device. It feels like a lightweight headband. It has the lowest failure rate in the market, less than 1%. Why is that? Well, the reason why is because of how simple it is to use. The second reason is because you have the auto attendant waking you up, telling you, place the device on your head, place it back on your head if it falls off. Your nasal cannula is loose. With other devices, they don't have anything that lets them know that the device has fallen off their finger or their hand or their chest or their head. We wake you up, let you know, and that's really why there's less than 1% failure rate. That auto attendant is super important. And it is the easiest to use portal. The device takes about 2 minutes to upload on the front end and on the back end. It's very reasonably priced. I'll go over pricing momentarily, and I'll also go over warranty. In comparison to our competition, we're about $2,600 less. We have the lowest rate for interpretation. Many other home sleep test devices charge up to $80 for a doctor's interp. Ours is anywhere between $35 to $40. That's really important because every single case that you will be doing with your patients is going to need a board certified sleep doc to interpret it. Paying $80 every time versus $40 is half of the price. The results will let you know if your patient is picking up on central apnea. And I think it's important because there's a very small number of patients, less than 1 or 2%, will actually be picking up on centrals. But it's good to know which patients do. That way you can send them back to the sleep lab. ARES will provide you a letter of medical necessity and recommendation for oral appliance. And the disposables take a few minutes to put together. As you saw, it took me 30 seconds. Other devices, there's been studies that I can actually provide. They take approximately 20 to 30 minutes, not just to put the device together, but also to show the patient how to wear the device, just because they're such complicated to put together and to explain. We were the first device on the market to receive FDA clearance, which was 15 years ago. Our device was invented by the top sleep physician at Mayo Clinic, Dr. Philip Westbrook. He was called the godfather of sleep apnea. The interpretation of the ARES device, it's simple and streamlined. Basically, the doctors have access, you also have access to raw data, and many other devices do not. But the way I will walk you through how simple the process is from handing the device to your patient to getting the results back at the very end. Most other devices, as I had mentioned, don't pick up sleep time. They only pick up recorded time, and that is not accurate data, which ours does both. The portal is all iCloud based. Why is that important? It's important because you don't have to add additional software or pay for additional software. Everything's cloud based. You can log on from anywhere and access the portal at any time. ARES results are clean and easy to read, as I had shown you previously. The results will actually make you sound like a board certified sleep physician. You'll have a local rep that will assist you anytime you need help with the ARES. And we have techs that actually will assist you in your training and train your entire staff. And we set you up with a 45-minute in-depth training prior to using the device. We also have your reps, your local sleep reps that will help you if you need to order more disposable kits. The ARES device holds up to 21 hours of battery life. We have the longest battery life out of any other device on the market. And it charges in the wall, so it's not batteries that need to be switched out. And it's great because you can do up to 1, 2, or 3 nights. But if the patient takes it home and doesn't wear it for a few days, and then they wear it later on, you have 21 hours of battery life. You don't have to worry about the patient saying, hey, the battery died on me. The device died, the battery life died. I'll need you to charge it and, hand it back to me to redo. And like I had mentioned, we have 9 channels. We have more channels than any other device on the market. We have EEG, EOG, and EMG, which most devices do not. We've had multiple studies and publications proving that the ARES Watermark home sleep test device is as accurate as a polysomnography. And a polysomnography is an in-lab, it's also referred to as a PSG.
So what we have here is a form that we've created to protect you from the patient taking the device, keeping it for too long, losing the device, breaking the device. It's called a financial responsibility waiver. We create this form so it's customizable to your practice. So you would place your practice name and your practice logo. And this basically says that this device is worth thousands of dollars. It is insured, and the deductible is $695 if you were to lose or break the device. It also says please be sure to return the device on this time and this date. And any day that you keep the device longer than the time and date noted, then you would pay $20 for every additional day that you keep the device. And that amount is customizable. I've seen $50. I've even seen up to $150. And you would have the patient sign, place their signature, and date it. Now, I've even had a lot of doctors that would take their patient's credit card number to make sure that if something happens, they're responsible and their credit card is charged. I recommend that if this is something that you're concerned about. The good news is that you're not responsible to pay the full amount of the device. Now, your device does have a warranty for the first year. If it is an error code, that's something that we would fix for you free of charge. Or if the device is actually broken or there's a piece that's broken to the device, we're able to fix that for a small fee. Usually that costs a couple $100, but it varies on what the damage of the device is. In the many years that I've been doing this, I really haven't came across many broken pieces or anything of that sort. There are not many small parts to the device. So our first form that we're going to fill out to purchase the ARES Watermark home sleep test device is called the client enrollment form. Basically, what this form is it gives you access to the online portal, and this is the form where you choose your board certified sleep physician. Now, keep in mind that every time you screen your patient with the ARES home sleep test device, you will have to pay a board certified sleep physician a fee to interpret your study. Now, that fee can run anywhere between $30 to $70, varying on the physician that you choose. There are different doctors that are board certified in different states. So speak to me or your local sales reps, and we will assist you in choosing the best board certified sleep physician. We typically work with doctors that their prices range from between $30 to $40. We believe that that is fair market value, but that is totally up to you, and that is your choice. And we would give you a list of board certified sleep physicians to choose from. On your top left hand side, it asks for a Watermark rep. That would be your local rep, and I would give you that information or the rep assisting you with the paperwork. Source would be, if you're purchasing the device through a distributor. Number of ARES purchased is the amount of devices that you'd like to buy. Client practice name would be your practice name. Location name is not necessary. You can just place the practice name, put that down. Address, suite, city, state, zip, phone number, and practice type, which would be dental or medical. Primary contact would be the office manager or the doctor, and the primary contact's email. Install tech, referral coordinator, those are not necessary. Are you board certified in sleep medicine? If you are not, you would circle no. In this box, this is where you would choose your board certified sleep physician. You would initial your name, and then you would place I select, and I would give you a doctor's name that is board certified in your area and licensed in your state. We'd go all the way down to account administrators. We're going to skip physician information. unless you wanted to put your first, last name, location, and NPI, specialty. We usually get that info in other parts of the form, so it's not necessary. We're going to go down to account administrator. This part is extremely important because the account administrator is the person that would hand the device to the patient. This is also the person that would be logging in every single day to the online portal. And I would recommend, if you own the practice, maybe put yourself down as the primary, because the primary is the administrator that is able to add and remove users. So whoever you would like to be the person that add or remove users, I would highly recommend either a long-term office manager or yourself. You would put their first and last name, their email address, and phone number. We recommend that you place a secondary person, so maybe you put yourself first and then an office manager as a secondary. Same thing, email and phone number, and you can even add additional as well. And these are also the people that will receive an email to sign up for the training. We provide you with a 45-minute training for your staff, and it would be virtual online. Then a signature and date, and then your client enrollment form is complete. The Business Associate Agreement discusses and covers the online portal. What it states is that the online portal is HIPAA compliant and secured, and that we do not share patient information. The client enrollment form that you see to the left is in addition to the client enrollment form that we already filled out, and that is just in case you have additional locations. If you do not, then you would leave that blank and would not fill it out. The Business Associate Agreement has 9 pages total, and we are going to skip through this middle part. And on the 9th page, you would basically write under covered entity, you would leave that line blank. And on the first line where it asks for a date, you would place the date, and then by would be your signature. The rest of the form would remain blank. Now let's go over the actual purchase order form. This is our final form, which is the actual order form to purchase the device. On the top left, you would write in the practice name, address, city, state, zip, phone number, and email. If the ship to address is same as billing on the right, please check that box. The ARES unicorder unit is the actual device. So you would write in quantity as to how many devices you are looking to purchase. For purchasing options, please contact me directly. Disposable patient kits come in boxes of 10, which means in each box of 10 is $650. So if you were to purchase 2 devices, you would need 2 boxes of disposable kits. So each device, each disposable kit is $65 a piece. And you would put in the next line is sleep system display. To explain what that is, sleep system display is a dummy device that we would provide you. I feel that it's a great marketing piece to add to your practice. So you would get a little dummy head and a mannequin head, place it in your front office with the dummy display. And a lot of patients will ask, what is that? Oh, it's a home sleep test device. How can I take a home sleep test device? I would love to try it. Patients don't want to go into the sleep labs, and if they know that their local doctor is providing it in their office and they can take it home, they would love to do that. So I always highly recommend a sleep system display. They're $75. The mannequin head would be purchased separately. Don't worry about putting in the subtotal. We actually tax you based on the state that you live in. And so we would add the shipping and handling charges and taxes, and we would add that to your invoice. If this is something that you'd like to get overnight, feel free to click on choose the overnight option. If not, you can leave the rest blank. Payment terms, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, your card number, expiration, and security code. Distributor name if you're purchasing the device through a distributor. If you're not sure, go ahead and leave that blank. If you're also not sure who your sales rep is, you will have a local sales rep. You can leave that blank as well. Feel free to please print your name, today's date, and an authorized signature, and return the form to me, and I will provide you with my personal information. Here is my full email address, cell number, and name. If you have any additional questions, feel free to email or call me directly on my cell. Text message works as well. I want to thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great day.